All right, so we will officially call this meeting to order. It's 7 o'clock. It is the regular meeting of the Village of Leonard Council, December 9, 2024. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God, we thank you for this day you've given to us, and we pray for those that are able to make it due to sickness. We also pray for everybody here in the village that you would just protect them and keep them safe and healthy. And we pray that the meeting will go well. In your name, amen.
You would do a roll call, Lori?
Absolutely. President Moore is absent, excused. Kennedy?
Here.
Pelichek?
Here.
Swack?
Yes, here.
Hawkins?
Here.
And for the record, Lori Zelnok is here. Treasurer Judy Verse is excused. We have the first item would be minutes for the November meeting. If we can get a motion to approve those minutes.
I'd like to approve the minutes of November 11th, 2024, as written.
Do we have a second?
I'll support.
All right, John Hawkins. We have John Hawkins as the first, Kennedy supporting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. We have an agenda for this meeting. If we can get a motion to approve the agenda for the meeting.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
Alex Kennedy as the first, John Hawkins as the second. All in favor of the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. We have a treasurer's report. We can review that and also get a motion. Any changes, any questions?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the November 2024 treasurer's report.
Support.
Alex Kennedy as the first, John Hawkins as the second. If we can do a roll call on that because money's involved.
Hawkins?
Yes.
Pelichek?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Swack?
Yes. Motion carries. Treasurer's report is filed. We have accounts payable. We can get a motion to approve the accounts payable.
I'd like to make a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $17,500.83 for general, $634.07 for major, $0 for local, and 0 for Mill Park Recreation.
I'll support.
With Alex Kennedy as the first, John Hawkins as the second. We have accounts payable. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry, roll call.
Okay, very good.
Roll call.
Hawkins?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Swack?
Yes.
Pelichek?
Maybe just one quick update for the agenda. There's a period from the 17th to 2000 not counted.
Oh,
So there is. Thank you. No, it's actually really, really important. Thank you.
Misspelled my name, does it matter?
It does matter. Yes.
P-E-L-E, right?
So
P-E-L-A.
somebody was having a rough day.
P-E-L-A-C-H-1-K. Good guess, though.
Okay.
Got it.
I know what you meant.
Okay.
Actually, it wasn't me, but
Oh, okay.
All right, next is public comment. We have one visitor. Anything?
Not yet. We'll see as it goes on.
Always welcome. All right, no public comments. I'm just going to make a note. New business. School request to use Roland Hall and the annex. Bill and I had briefly talked about this. Basically, this would be an emergency situations. The high school, when they have an emergency, they all go to Meyer, period. That's where they end up. Meyer knows how to handle them. Meyer knows what to do. The elementary doesn't have that same place to go. Bill had said either Cooper Standard could be an option and the annex. And my issue with the annex is nobody's there. So we'd have to get it open in an emergency situation. Now kids are sitting outside. It could be 0 degrees. They're infant to, to 5th grade. I like Cooper Standard if they would agree to it because there's people there during the day.
And it's a lot closer. You could get
It's a lot closer, although they're crossing a street, that's almost the least of my worries at that point. And I encouraged Bill, I don't know who needs to talk to Cooper Standard and tell them, hey, if you have any questions, contact Meyer and see what they do, see what their process is. If there's, there may be liabilities that they have to work around and stuff like that, and I'm sure the school district, Leonard, everybody would be willing to work with them because just being, school is Monday through Friday. They're Monday through Friday. They're open. At least somebody would physically be there.
Right.
Roland Hall would be an option, but again, there's possibly one person here.
Well,
Possibly
they're going to
two.
be issued keys. So what it would be is
Oh.
in council giving approval for them to do this,
Okay.
they actually need both. And what it would be is K through 4, no, K through 2 or 3 here, the rest in the annex. And so they would be given one key to the annex, one key to here. They already would they have a whole protocol on how it would be done. So, this teacher, this person will be in here with these kids.
Okay.
The other teacher will be there. So what we had mentioned to them was, well, gosh, Cooper Standard is closer for one. And they probably have a conference center which would accommodate all of them, for meetings. So that would be really great. And so we just said if we could give approval today to the plan, that way we could be like the backup if Cooper Standard says no. And that's exactly what
Okay.
apparently whoever reached out to us from the school district, they pretty much have a plan already laid out. And so they're going to lay that out, and then also it kind of relinquishes them of liability. But Cooper Standard's only question was if we have something going that day that could be toxic to kids, that could be some kind of an issue
Gotcha.
in the building, that they felt like that would be a problem. And so they need to run that through toxic
Just anything
or
that they use.
dangerous,
If
something.
they had a spill, if they had an accident.
Because they have that outdoor canopy thing.
Well,
I think the goal is to get them inside behind solid walls.
if it were a
Yeah.
tornado, if it were an emergency. So it's just a matter of they have to bring it to their legal. And if their legal says it's okay and then they would indemnify them of all liability,
Yeah.
then probably, they would bite on it and take it. But if they don't, we, said yes, we would bring it to council.
It'd be safer
And-
than being outside.
Right, and give them the option of keeping it in here.
There's
In the
heat
end.
here too, so it's,
Yeah.
in the annex.
I guess part of my request with that is could we get a couple of those real estate key boxes?
I was going to say the same
that we
thing.
put outside.
Is a
That way
lockbox,
if
yeah.
Because it's
Teacher A
I like
isn't there
that.
that day.
It's a different key there, it's a different key there, and it's a different key over there.
We could keep the code to ourselves, and then if they call and say we need the
Or it
code,
just goes to
it's-
principal or
it's
something.
4 numbers away
Oh,
from
that's really.
And you can get the style that is actually mounted to the wall
Yep.
and not on the door. So it's
Correct.
not in
That's
anybody's
huge.
way. Yeah, it's,
that's-
okay.
because also the fire department usually has those too.
Yep.
There's usually something, so even the fire department could have the code to get in if they needed. These codes can be changed if we needed them to, if
Okay.
we suspected something was crazy. I don't know what somebody would do, but having a limited number of people would be a backup to that, to them having one
Right.
key for each.
Sure.
And like I said, that teacher frantically not knowing what to do. In my experience, in my kids' experience, although the accident didn't happen at their school, some of the teachers were a little less prepared. So there was a need for guidance. There was a need for secondary. There was a need for
Right.
backups. So I would suggest the lockbox. They're not expensive enough to not say yes.
And we
to,
can
so.
find out what their plan is for the key.
Yeah.
Is it something that's going to be in Mr. McDevitt's office where it's going to be locked up, just for the fact that we have a level of security that has to be kept here to keep our insurance policy intact also?
Yep.
And so, we need that key to just not actually go home with a teacher ever.
Yes.
For that reason.
Yeah, and I think maybe even that alleviates some of that with the key box.
Yeah.
Right,
That idea.
right.
But
Yep.
Now, can you fit 3 keys in that box?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what, just mark them for what they're for?
They'll figure it out that day. You can mark them all day long. Nobody's going to look.
I mean, they won't be able to get past, they won't be able to even get in here.
They'll be
Because
okay.
there's 3 keys.
Yeah. Well, there's only the 2, so they'd have one door, one
2
door.
here, but the annex has 1.
Oh, and then, well, the annex would probably get its own lockbox. I would do a different lockbox
2
for that
and
one.
then Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And like I said, the fire department would probably be thrilled to death to have another option other than literally breaking this door down.
They actually would. That's come up to be an issue, but although I think Jerry has the key, so it's
Oh,
not as
okay.
much of an issue anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So the request would be, are we using this as a secondary, or are we allowing ourselves to pursue the,
We won't know yet until we talk to Cooper.
We have to pretend like we would be the primary, you
Okay.
know, in lieu of if Cooper
unless
Standard
Cooper-
says no.
do we need a motion tonight to do anything?
Just that they do need to get the plan in place. It is part of their thing that they're doing, just like the rest of us all have our little things that we have to do before February 1st. So I think that we do
Okay.
need to give them an answer. We did say that we would bring it before council and have something for
So if we agree
them.
on this being the primary, then in the interim, maybe you want to switch over to Cooper, or?
Maybe we could do it in lieu of, that, you know, that this would be considered a safe option for them to utilize the building in lieu of maybe if Cooper Standard declines, you know,
Yeah,
the
yeah, I would
Yeah,
think they'd be.
'cause they
able
should
to-
have something.
the request to do it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we could always just put the lock boxes as a, if it comes to pass that we are their number one thing, that we'll get the lock, you know, that lock boxes would be an option.
And we don't really have to do anything until February, technically.
Technically, we don't have to do anything right away. They just need to include it as part of like their security plan that they are going to present to the school board of the district or whoever has to make this plan. And,
I like the annex better, it's less red tape. So, yeah, Cooper.
It is just one door. Yeah.
I mean, it's just
But it,
I mean, Cooper could have, their attorneys could have problems with a bunch of children.
yeah, and that's why I say they should talk to Meyer about it, because Meyer already has this plan in place. So they, you know, they must have something that has gone by legal.
mhm.
And I have no idea who in Meyer to talk to about something like that.
Right, I feel like Judy fielded the call, not me. We just had a meeting about it afterward.
Yeah.
I feel like whoever approached her had a very well laid out plan. Like this wasn't just I'm not really sure I'm fishing around. This is basically,
How many children are over there?
Let's see, probably, yeah, I was gonna say 2 classrooms per grade, 5 grades, and then probably about 25 per classroom is my estimate. 6 grades, including kindergarten, 7 grades, including preschool, if they're there, and or special ed.
So you're at 25 times 10, that's 250.
Yeah, they probably only
Give or
have,
take teachers, students.
yeah, I mean, maybe the 300 would be on high day, you know, because one year they did have 3 classes for a grade, so 300 would be a max. It'd be chaos in the annex, but that would make us
Isn't it?
keep the annex clean.
It's a shame we have to have this discussion.
It's very sad. But it kind of alarmed me too when you said Cooper Standard was worried about toxic.
well, I mean, okay, that was maybe my inference. Maybe it wasn't toxic. It might have been dangerous or hazardous or like something.
Down the street.
So, but I think that was me imagining something. I don't think those were their words because I didn't have that direct conversation. So
You know,
don't take it
when you
as,
think about it, I think they probably paint in there and that.
Well, anytime you use anything that requires an MSDS, a material safety data sheet, you have a concern.
Yeah.
Like there just is. If it's not just water.
I don't know.
okay, you know, okay, so grease cutter needs a
Windex
MSDS.
technically has
You know
it.
what I mean? So,
Everything in your home technically
Correct.
has something that tells you not to put it in your eye, what to do if it gets in your
don't
eye.
drink it.
That kind of stuff.
It
So,
never even occurred.
Right.
yeah, and they just have to,
And
you know.
kids touch everything.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess the second part of that would be because the situation is not just schools, what if they had the issue? And now those guys are in lockdown.
Exactly.
You know, so I guess the reverse would be true. Cooper Standard, can you come in? Do you need to go to the? I mean,
Go
it's-
to the school.
you just
I don't think you have, well, I don't
you
know
just
if
never
you
know.
work there.
You know, you just never know. So, no, I don't know that any of us really have a problem with them using the annex and probably the annex first and this building second.
Well, both, because like I said, they already
Oh,
had
yeah,
it
they-
broken down. It would be
Okay.
grade X through Y here. and the rest there. So the
Okay.
only way they could do it is they have to use both and they have to split them up. And they
Okay.
already have a plan of who is with what children and what
Gotcha.
combinations it's
Okay.
in. It's all, it seems like it was all very organized.
And I guess,
Especially out here, they need some.
Absolutely.
yeah.
We
and
don't
like
have a
I
lot
said,
of
I-
options.
Those lock boxes would be big enough to hold 3 keys each. It wouldn't be a bad idea to have separate, both sets of keys in both
Sure.
boxes, just in case. So,
Yeah, I think we can talk more about it after.
Yeah.
The only concern I have with anything about that plan jeopardize our insurance for roll-off?
From what I understand, no, but Judy is going to present it, so we get our insurance through the MML, and there's all these little things that we need to do, and they're another place that's really squared away and organized. So I believe that, once we got council's approval, she was gonna run it by MML and
I mean,
find
it's
out
an-
if there was
it's an
gonna be.
emergency. There has to be,
Right, contingencies and stuff like that. So, and then once all that's done, then it would be a go. So,
okay.
should we make a motion to allow Judy to contact insurance to check on these things and to be in contact with the school to make plans?
I feel like they're looking for a motion tonight only because, like, even if you guys said yes and then MML said no, then it would end there.
Correct.
And then we wouldn't be able to help them out. So it would just be a matter of before calling MML, if you guys were just to say no, I think that she was thinking, let's just move the ball forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I would probably just make a motion to allow the council, the village, to work with the school and work with insurance to consider a plan to use both the annex and Roland Hall as an emergency shelter for the elementary school.
And annex.
And, yeah, both of those. Yeah, Roland Hall and the annex to use as an emergency shelter.
Okay.
I'll
Got it.
support.
Because it could potentially involve some liability, how do you feel
Just
about a
do
roll call on that?
Just do a roll call on
Okay, I
this
feel
one.
like the
Just,
same way.
Yeah. Like I said, money could be involved.
Right, just because it may bump our insurance policy, so
Yeah.
we should at least do it. So, okay, that being the case, let's do that. Kennedy?
Yes.
Swack?
Yes.
Pellicet?
Yes.
Hawkins?
Yes.
All right.
Item number 2 is new office person starting January 7th. What is this office person going to do, and how excited are you guys?
Her name is Sherry.
Who's leaving?
Who's the
You
other?
just
Well,
added.
okay, so here's the thing. Judy and I are not leaving. Generally, how it works is this. Judy does 3 shifts, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 9 to 2. But she was really hoping that I would be the person that would take that over. And I did it for a while, but I'm actually going back to school full time. So I'm not going to have the opportunity to enjoy luxurious office upstairs. So I will continue to do my job like I do from home. And then sometimes I go in and I will do work just because Judy and I sometimes have to be together to do our job. And then Judy's going to be doing her job from home. And then the same thing, sometimes she'll come in. And so what we're going to do is we've just hired somebody at the admin rate that like we have for doing office hours that Judy or I would do. And she will do the 9 to 2. You know what? I gave her resume to Bill in his packet. I know her first name is Sherry, and she was just looking for something to supplement some
good.
hours. In addition, she seems very agreeable. She'll start training in January.
She lives in the village.
No, she does not live. She just lives outside of the village. She's just north of us by a little bit. She's within a 10-minute drive, something
And that's
like
okay
that.
for that position, for her to not be.
It
part of the
is.
village?
You
Okay.
don't have to be a resident
Okay.
to just do the admin work. So
And when you say admin work, will she be working with and learning both jobs, yours and Judy's? Or a little bit of whatever you give her, or?
Probably not. She'll be mainly dealing with like the day-to-day phone calls and building permits. She could do some small bit of filing, like as new things come in, but I'm
Sure.
supposed to keep the records, so I'll just continue to keep the records. And then same thing with Judy, like she like she can't sign it. The girl can't sign a check, and she won't be
Makes
able
sense.
to sign a check, but she can receive a check.
Yep.
I can say.
You can sign checks. So so Judy and Yvonne are the check signers.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it. So just kind of the day-to-day stuff, being available to, taking people that are paying their taxes, all
So
that.
just what, 3 days a week or every day?
3 days a week.
3 days a
Yeah,
week.
we just can't justify having, more.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Yeah.
No.
But to be consistent at the 3 days and to always be kind of a guaranteed somebody would be there, because now
You got it.
you're kind of a backup to the person who's there instead of being the one who needs to be there, and then there's no backup.
Right.
So-
Experience in this field? Is she all brand new?
No, she's maybe close to my age. So she's got like a lot of experience doing stuff, working, with things where you have to have discretion.
Anything with
So
village admin, well, village admin specifically, or
not village admin, no,
Okay,
for
but admin
for
on
a
other
lot
spots.
of years with another company. I can't think of what it is off the top of my head, but
Okay.
definitely, good candidate, very pleasant attitude, really upbeat kind of person, and just somebody, also that, aside from being intelligent, and I think that she would be good for the job, just seems like she'd be very easy to work with.
good,
Good.
So,
good.
'cause you know how the characters in this village are.
Well, there's,
So you're there.
there's only so many people, so you have to work with us. You have no choice. All right, so next item is request for new office printer.
Oh, I find this so amusing. Oh,
Well, how old is the
yeah.
printer that's up there?
Yeah,
15 years.
And then he said it was like printer and copier? Is it an all-in-one unit?
It doesn't really operate like that. Let's just be clear. We have two.
That's what I
One
thought
of them
there, too.
kind of does some stuff. One of them doesn't do the other. And I was just complaining to Alex. Neither of them are really wired into the computer the right way. Like it's frustrating working up there. I just operate off of like apps on my phone because I just can't have it.
That's hysterical.
It is.
Okay.
So
the new
anyway.
machine would be an all-in-one?
It would, and actually, I took a minute to talk to Alex because he's kind of a techie guy before you guys arrived, and I just was throwing some things out to him. And so, do you want to just take it from here?
So, yeah, the two quotes that we have, one is for the $1,995. Looking online, I found a much cheaper price for the same printer.
Oh,
So I would say that we should not do that one. And then this Elite imaging system, I didn't find a price for the printer that they were presenting. But that's a 5-year lease, $50 a month, give or take.
oh,
So that's gonna end up to be, what, $3,000
Okay.
toward the end of that lease.
yeah.
And then they take it back.
My
Yes.
thought would be is that we should look at spending up to $1,500 at Micro Center to get a printer.
Oh, you went to Micro Center.
Because
Gotcha.
if we go to Micro Center, even if we put in like an extra $300 for the 2-year warranty, 3-year warranty, we're still further ahead than even getting the cheapest
So
quoted printer.
with the
we have.
quoted printer, was that a lease? Did they,
There was
did
one
they
of-
supply anything?
This one.
It's a purchase, but did they supply stuff?
The
Ink?
one that I found cheaper is a straight purchase, I believe.
Yeah,
The other one is a lease.
okay, so, but with the straight purchase, I thought Bill said it sounded like he said they did the same thing as they supplied something.
I don't think that they were going to supply the ink, and
Okay.
I might be wrong. I didn't have a first-hand conversation with this individual. I had a second-hand conversation
Okay.
with Judy, and she said that, and there isn't anything on that quote like we are supplying ink, we are supplying
Okay.
service.
So they're not.
It's just basically somebody who was doing, I think, a direct sale to us as a village, but what their selling point was, oh, this is like one of those ones where when you buy the ink will last you like a year,
Is
or
it a liquid?
That's-
Versus, it's not a cartridge?
This one says it comes with a full set of high-capacity cartridges.
So it's still a
Okay.
cartridge, okay.
Yeah, so the one that I looked at at Micro Center, I believe was a LaserJet, which to me is far superior technology for mass printing,
Yeah.
when you do it and then sitting there and waiting when you're not
Ugh,
printing.
the sitting.
Anything with ink sucks because it dries out, or
Oh.
you know, then it just sits there and goes, oh, you need new cartridges.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This is a laser color printer. It's actually faster than both of these at 42 pages a minute. Actually, I think there's a lot of benefit to us just taking this one ourselves and doing that.
I would agree.
And I can honestly say, just because when it comes to making the packets,
Yeah.
in some months packets are just like crazy. Where I'm printing for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, getting the packets ready because the printer up there has to keep pausing. And because it prints so slowly, honest to goodness, it's like watching paint dry up there. You just want to die sometimes. And so, I mean, I've thought about like bringing my brother printer in here just because I can't take it.
Just don't lease it. That makes no sense.
It doesn't.
Not-
No, and
Yeah.
We did that, I think, 4 years ago. I think one of the units upstairs is a leased unit. And part of our reasoning is that we wouldn't have to deal with the maintenance. They would come and fix it. Well, we don't think we've had it fixed, but we've also never had it set up right. So there's,
Right.
exactly.
I'd rather just,
When was, I've had,
I want to say that was,
no, I was gonna ask you, when was the last time you repaired one of your own printers? I mean, I'm not using it to this,
yeah.
sometimes I am, but I've never repaired a
The
printer.
printer at my house right now, we've had for 3 years, and I think maybe we had to put a new toner cartridge in it.
Right.
Right.
And I would agree with, same thing.
Exactly.
So-
And when the one upstairs, it's broken. You can get it to work, but it's just, you really have to rig something up to get it to,
You have to
to
know what
print.
to do.
Yeah, you have to like with one hand lean on the door like this because it's warped. So,
This is
it-
gonna scare Sherry away.
I know. So, you know, the thing of it is, we called the people that we bought it from 15 years ago. Well, Judy did, not me.
Yep.
And they said, oh, well, they haven't made these parts in like a decade. Well, the thing's 15 years old, so apparently they stopped making parts, 10 years ago for a 15-year-old thing. And the thing of it is, you're right. Things usually start to go wrong at some point, and then there's no getting the parts anyway. So what is the point of the contract of having like a service contract where Alex and I talked about the idea of you get a good quality one, like a Brother printer, and you use it, and even it's still a lot less. I think it was $1,700 as opposed to $1,900. And even if it broke after a couple years and you had to replace it, it would still be cheaper than that one.
Yeah.
And you would have new technology and something new. But
Yeah.
getting somebody out to fix something,
I was gonna say, I
it's
don't
just not
think
going to
I've ever-
happen.
What have you ever looked into like even just buying it from like Costco? Because they literally have like a Costco, you can take anything back. Like literally, like I mean, it could be like 10 years down the road, and they're like, yeah, we'll exchange, it's no problem. And like, I know, like I've had really good luck with Costco, like anything, like especially like that, and they often have really fair prices on printers, but I don't know like
Yeah.
what the
that's-
difference would be.
That's my point, well, we just get the 2-year extended warranty from Micro Center.
Yeah.
That way, at the end of 3 years, if it's died in that time frame, we've either gotten it replaced from Micro Center, or we just keep it in the budget every 5 years, $1,500 from the printer.
Right.
And I mean, as far as paper goes.
Well, I feel like with
Amazon-
Costco, you could probably do like
Right.
10 years with Costco.
Yep.
Without even, you're not buying an extended warranty, it's just part of the Costco.
I can look into what Costco has, but I don't know how many times they have more business style printers.
Oh.
They actually do. We just bought one for our church, just like a huge industrial one that like prints out like it's a huge like
I'll take a
I think either Exxon or Brother, but like the the ones that are like on those carts basically.
Yeah.
It's like one of those guys.
You're
Could be
just
an
lucky
option.
You have one. I was the clerk many moons ago. Nothing. I tried to get one.
What would you,
Oh.
I
Turned
mean,
it down.
what
Well-
did you do?
It's not great, and like I said, I consider bringing mine from home at times. So but I get you.
Do we need a motion on this?
We do.
Okay, so we are, I think, maybe a maximum of 1,900 spending. Can we do not to exceed?
Yeah, we do that.
Okay. I will make a motion to purchase a new printer or all-in-one unit not to exceed $1,900. And I'm gonna leave that kind of open as far as brand, type, style.
Great.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
And money's involved. Let's do a roll call.
Okay. Hawkins,
Yes.
Swack,
Yes.
Helichek, Kennedy.
Yes.
All right, off to old business. I'll give you a second there if you want to keep writing.
I'm good.
Okay.
Nope, I got it.
Old business, ordinance enforcement, 4285, dangerous building update. I am not sure what everybody has seen, but 4285 Forest Street is now listed on the market. It is,
Is that what that sign said?
that is what the sign
For
says.
sale?
It is for sale for $69,969.
Are you kidding me?
I am not.
Isn't it hazardous?
Well, I reviewed the listing and I immediately called Mike, not to bump over Bill by any means, but I know that Mike knows exactly what's going on with the building, so I called him first. I see deception in the listing because the listing says to call the office if you have any questions.
Here?
Correct. So I immediately asked Mike, well, because it's on a dangerous building list and because it's listed as a hazardous building, they can sell it all day long, but the buyer needs to know that this is the case. And I wanted, Mike has actually already contacted the attorney with the direction to contact me because he's not supposed to, not sitting in this spot anymore. But Bill being in the situation he is, we're gonna let this one slide. But I want to, and I'll probably hound the attorneys for an answer. I want something that when somebody upstairs answers that phone and the question comes in, that there's a very legal statement to read.
Yeah.
Because the initial response was, let's go straight to litigation. And I said, well, let's hold off a second here.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens with the building, because it's possible that somebody comes in, does exactly what the village wants them to do, and they turn it into a wonderful house again. It can happen. It can happen. Whether it's
They're insane.
well, whether it's knocked down or it becomes something
Well,
new,
that,
they
yeah.
would have some kind of
Yes.
plan, they would have something in writing. So I don't want to run to litigation, spend our money, and they might make us happy. So I'd like to see where this kind of goes. I am familiar with the listing agent. Never worked with him personally. But like I said, I don't like the way that the listing's written, and I think that it puts you guys upstairs at a loss, not having an answer to that as soon as
Right.
possible. Because
And-
I did
yes.
see, the first day I saw it was Saturday. I'm able to see not who is showing the house, but how many people were showing the house, and there were 2. There was one on Sunday, so people have looked at it
Are
to
you
purchase.
flipping kidding me?
Well, keep in mind, when you're not from around here and you don't know what's going on,
All you gotta do is look at it, the chimney's falling down.
chimneys can,
Oh my lord.
so chimneys, I have a house
I
next
think
to,
there's a hole in the roof.
I actually have a neighbor, not here, but out in Elginak, that had a house on a demo list, and it's an amazing house today because he removed the chimney from the inside, he re-supported, he rebuilt the basement, he did everything to this home, and it's amazing. So I can
That's
see it
fine
happen.
If that happens, but.
Correct, and
I'm like you, I just think
that's where we need to see the plan that someone would buy. And my concern is that the listing agent is not being completely honest with what's going on here. So
Who do they answer to? Anybody? They're just honest about listing? Is there a board?
there is a board. It would probably take almost a full transaction to prove that it was dishonest. And right now, if nobody calls, then nobody's interested because they've been alerted to call.
They
I-
can do that. They can say, well, you gotta call the village.
Yes.
But I
It's
don't
buyer
have
beware.
to give them an answer. So I'm filling in for Judy all week.
Yeah.
She's
If you
on
get one, I
vacation.
would take a name and number.
That's what I was going to say. Is
Yes.
just generally what I say is let me get your information and I'll follow up with you. I have
Yep.
actually been in regular contact with our lawyer, John Coomer.
Okay.
We've been emailing back and forth for the last couple weeks, and so I'll let him know that council asked if we could have
And-
something.
And you can also tell them too, the email that came from Mike McDonald can come from me. I would have sent the exact same email
Okay.
asking that exact same question, because I actually
Okay.
prompted it, so.
Okay, terrific.
Because
That,
he may set it aside, being that Mike's not the president, and technically.
He's not going to set it aside because
Okay.
he kind of understands the
Our
changeover
transition,
that's
yeah.
happening, and
Okay,
you know, because because of what I'm doing here, I get in the middle of all the legal stuff.
yes.
So it's
Yeah.
been kind of like a regular thing, just because I have to be careful about what people do call, what I can say, because
Yes.
we are in the middle of a legal matter, and so there's a lot of things I can't say except for the fact
Yes.
that we're in the middle of a legal thing right now. So
And that's why it would be nice for him to just give you a thing that you literally read
yep.
word for word.
So I will reach out to him tomorrow
Yeah.
morning, and
Okay.
I'll say that council asked
Yep.
if we could have a blanket statement as far as what we want to discuss with people,
Yes.
and, you know, let him know that the listing agent has it
Have
listed
him
as to
pull
have a
up the
cover.
listing too,
Yeah.
and take a look at the wording. It's not, it's public, it's public and you can see it, but I feel it's slightly deceptive in that it implies it can be removed from the demolition list
Well-
and that things would be easy.
And, you know, here's the thing, why is the agent not answering those questions? Why are they putting it in our lap?
Push it over.
Because we're a buyer beware state.
Okay,
Buyer beware all sales.
okay.
I think maybe until we have that prepared statement, maybe one of the best ways to answer the call is, can I take your name and number?
And just go back, stay with that.
Our legal department is putting together a prepared statement to answer any, the questions about this property.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that, I think maybe that might push
Yeah.
the sentiment enough that they might go.
And I'm gonna watch it to make sure that it doesn't go pending, because if it does.
Those people are shysters. They cannot do any business in this village anymore, can they?
I think in the state anymore.
I would say, yeah, I'd say across the board, but
Oh, state?
Well, New
But-
York has banned them.
don't put it past them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
But corporations can change names and become something else and continue to do the same practice.
And
yeah.
they push it up on somebody else.
Right, so,
Yep, so a letter from John would be the,
okay.
and I mean, we can talk about it next month.
Okay.
We can kind of watch it and follow it and see what it does. Like I said, I just don't want to pay for litigation if we can actually stop them before they even, you know, because they've tried this before. They've had it on auction.com. Now they've got it up for sale with an agent. Like, come on.
Right.
Give it up, Rick.
Well,
Get down, get over it, then sell the property.
my theory is that the lender is actually the one that has it for sale and not the actual seller that's the shyster.
Oh, really?
That they're trying to recoup some of the millions that they were lending
I'd agree with that.
to across the state for
Right.
all these houses that are probably, if I picked up all the addresses, I bet you I could find them all. They'd all be on the market right now.
I could 100% agree
Yeah,
with
so I
you.
think that's why there's a lot of just not really saying what they want, like not telling you kind of thing. You know, it sounds like everything's just so secretive and weird. And like I said, I didn't like the wording, so that's and the first people I thought of was the two of you. So
Yep.
okay, old business number 2 is Leonard Trailhead Ditch update. The trailhead ditch was being worked on and has now stopped. Bill said previous repairs to the ditch might have been favors and were done incorrectly, rendering the ditch not capable of functioning the way it's supposed to. So he's stopped any kind of progress on it. We'll have to address it in the spring. His concern is that it's going to cost more money because now it doesn't need to just be kind of cleared, but it needs to be repaired. So he will work on quotes, and he'll kind of handle that as soon as he gets back. But that was and he has been in contact with Linda Moran, you know, for the trailhead or for the trail, and talking to her about what's going on there too. So that's where that sits. Number 3, any questions? Number 3 is the road grader update. The road grader is on its way. One of Bill's first concerns was, and he'd asked the question of the seller, when was the last time you changed these fluids? And the guy has no idea. So Bill's concern is that we would be getting a unit, you know, this big machine, everything's great, everything's working, but the fluids are old, dirty, nasty, and then we end up breaking down in the middle of using it or something like that. So as soon as it hits the ground here, he'd like to get it in for service. remove a bunch of stuff, whatever needs to be removed to get to all the fluid lines.
Could we have a mechanic look at it while it's still on this other person's property before spending?
You just know that they haven't, that the units, it sounds like he knows the unit's been, this grader's been used and that hasn't been done,
How long,
so.
how long ago has it been used? Don't hoses and stuff like that
Yeah, eventually.
It was used commercially before, right? So, I mean, it's gotten probably abused and used, you know, kind of like, if they haven't been changed out and properly maintained, it's possible the stuff is just,
The problem with hoses and stuff like that is it's not always just duration of time of use. It's were they sitting in the sun? Like, was it outside? I mean, there's hundreds of different factors that can play into it.
I think filters was another part of this.
Yeah, I'd rather. I hate saying this because I know we're tight on budget, but if we're going to invest in the unit to bring it here, which we've already made the decision to do, I think what we should do is take the first step, bring it to a known state of saying we've got all the fluids changed.
Yeah.
And now here's where we start our service market.
Right, yeah.
Who's gonna run it? That's my question.
Mike, no, I'm just kidding. Don, correct?
Done?
Would
I
Don,
think John will probably, but what was the other gentleman's name that we used within the
Craig.
Fred?
Craig.
Craig.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Craig also runs a
He
great
does a
area.
good job, yes.
So I think for Craig, I don't think he wants to keep bringing his grader here, so if we have a grader
Oh, I
here, he
see.
can use our grader as well.
But he's willing to grade the roads because Donnie works. You can't rely on him.
Yeah.
And I would like the roads cleared in the wintertime.
well, and I think we also need a backup to Don, because like you said, he does work.
Yes.
And our backup has, and this is where the change of the president is really gonna start to shake things up a little bit, because Mike would step in and run things.
Right.
And, you know, I don't know that Bill is quite as versed in just stepping in and run things. I'm not hopping on it, because I'm gonna tear stuff up. You thought your grass,
Oh, boy.
you thought the road was bad before. Oh, boy. So that's where, like, that's where you find those weaknesses, and you see that now we need a true backup. We need somebody to step up, we need somebody trained.
I don't want it to be like
Yeah.
last year.
Is Craig more of a full-time, or like could
I
be?
have not formally met Craig, and I
Okay.
don't know too much about that situation, unfortunately.
He's a nice guy. He does a great job. Great job.
He does do a good job.
So I guess we probably need a little bit more information on Craig. It would be nice to have a number for Craig, to have a backup, you know, just in case Don's not available, and maybe
If I
What do
could,
you wanna know about him?
just his knowledge of machines like that. Like you said,
Oh, he's got knowledge.
well, that's where I don't know Craig, so it's just making sure that we know how often is he available. Can I call you on a whim? Can I, you know, whatever the case may be, you know, just
If he
to,
breaks down somewhere, he'll start to get it going again. And
just anything, you know, anything to know Craig a little bit better, I guess.
So you don't have a number for him?
We probably do, I just don't personally, so,
Okay.
you know, I don't,
I can get it
I'm
if you need
assuming, okay, and that's good to know, because I'm assuming, Mike probably gave all this stuff to Bill.
He
Bill
probably
has
did.
it.
Yeah.
But like you said, just to make sure, maybe even a backup to that, it's not a bad idea, so.
Sure. Agreed.
I guess maybe, if I could add one thing to the agenda is maybe, once we get everything settled up, could we get like the phone tree cards or
It's a
something?
good idea
Yeah.
of, yeah.
Because I would.
So for next agenda?
A little bit of money to get them laminated and get something.
Phone numbers of essential personnel.
Yeah.
Yeah, share that across the board, yeah. Because you're right,
Not searching for
Well,
these
and it's something that
Do you
all
wanna
the
be on the list?
trustees, as you
What
guys,
do I have to do?
we need somebody we need somebody in the audience.
you know, being
Yes.
in the position to, you know, be stewards of all things that are necessary for the village. It
Well, and like
probably
you
is a
said,
good
it-
idea for you guys to all have that in your
Yeah.
hand in case
Well, and it
somebody
just-
needed something. We could just reach out to you and be like, John, I see you're
Bill's-
here. What do you know? You
Bill's
know?
not available right now. so-
Right.
So,
Exactly.
It happens.
Something simple that we can do that we can.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially with the handover.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
since I'll be working in the office this week, you know, I was looking for a side project. So,
Sorry.
actually.
Oh, no, you're not being sarcastic.
No, I wasn't being sarcastic. I was being serious. I try to like make it so when Judy comes back, she has nothing to do. So I
Gotcha.
usually try to like do
Gotcha.
extra stuff for her. So no, that's good. I just need to
It probably, if we, I don't know, addresses need to be on there, anything like that, is there any reason to have anything like that on there? Just phone
I mean,
numbers is good.
I think an email and
email,
a phone
yeah.
number is all a person needs. Who does snail mail anymore? Like nobody.
Oh, come
We only
on.
use
You should all
addresses
receive-
for billing.
You should all receive a postcard soon.
Okay, you be the one and
I'd be
only.
the one and only. All right, so the DPW update is next. Any other questions for that one? If you have any questions, just stop me. DPW on the drains.
Yeah, I guess, do we know when the grader will be arriving? And then do we also
He
need to make a
said-
motion for
Yes, to make, yes.
the service?
I guess I will make a motion to allow the village president to spend up to $2,000 is what he requested to replace, to
Maintenance?
service or maintenance,
Get it working.
yeah, the hydraulic system or the fluids, I guess, for the machine, for the grader.
I'll second.
Money's involved, we'll do roll call.
Okay, Swack,
Yes.
Kennedy,
Yes.
Pellicek,
Yes.
Hawkins.
Yes.
And motion carries. And just a note on that too, Bill had asked for 2,000. He received a quote for like $200 and he knows that's not gonna happen. So he's smarter than the average bear and said, no,
Yeah.
it's great that you could do it for that cheap, but it's, yeah,
Well, if
it's,
you're talking to him, I'd like to know who that person.
it was something crazy like that. Maybe they didn't go the full, and
Yeah,
as
200 is
his
very
comment,
cheap.
well, his comment to me was, we're not dealing with quarts, we're dealing with gallons.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's gonna be more,
Yeah.
and I know that didn't include the fluid, but at the same time.
Sure. Well, then you should dispose of it too.
Well, he
so-
was thinking it would take maybe a day to tear things apart, a day to change things, and a day to put it all back together, was
Oh,
his
boy.
thinking, so. It was
Okay.
not a small job, $200 was not gonna cut it, so. And to answer your question, I believe it was like 3 weeks out,
Okay.
something 3 to 4 or something like that.
So do you have to have a legit, mechanic do that? Because I'm almost thinking Greg could probably do that. Check all that stuff out. He's got his own, and he maintains it, I know that.
It's probably more of a knowledge of hydraulics and systems and stuff. It might be an insurance,
I mean, I can call him,
I'm
get
gonna
hold of him
talk-
and find out if he's can do all that.
I think it'll be part of our questionnaire when we call it.
I know Mike had a close working relationship with Mr. Atchison. I wonder if maybe he would have a familiarity of what he knows he knows.
Yeah,
And,
Or
you
how
know, that's
long
the
he's
one
been
thing
doing
that
it.
we always have to stop ourselves and ask right now, what are we allowed and not allowed to do? Because
Yeah.
we're still in a little bit of unknown territory, being that, Mike was just such a strong guiding force for all of us that no one wants to make a wrong move. So
yeah.
it probably wouldn't hurt just to throw it out to him and say, is this viable or do you know somebody else? Because, Mike's work with NODA, there's a lot of people who work with heavy equipment and technology there. He might
True.
have a contact through NODA of somebody who could come here and do the work also, because obviously
Yeah.
they're going to have to work in the barn. We got to clear the barn out. Maybe, if it's really cold, it might be difficult. So there might be some obstacles we have right now in the person getting the work done. So that might be another possible thing to think about is how that's going to be approached.
Someone from NODA?
So-
So Craig or someone from
Maybe somebody from
Somebody
NODA,
from
he has a
NODA to do
contact. Yeah,
that, continuous maintenance and stuff like that.
Because-
Eventually you'll have to do it again.
yeah.
Do we have everything settled on that one for everybody? Okay, so DPW drains is a DPW update, or drains is a DPW update. Bill said between the corner to the fire hall, the annex, was all clear. He made it sound like that was all that needed to be done for this side, so that the east side was done and cleared. The next step would be the west side and the north side. Those were the next two drains to be cleared. I think Mike might have given him a sketch or something like that of and then he contacted Oakland County and he got a sketch of the drains, or he has something.
There used to be something upstairs.
Yeah, it was, I thought it was
Was it the drains or basins?
I don't know. Yeah, now I, Some say my eyes will glass over on some of those.
Because I know a couple weeks ago, they were driving around, dropping flags by all the catch basins.
Okay.
Mm.
And then a little while later, somebody else came by and took the flags out.
Hopefully it was the right person and not somebody just messing with them.
I think they, because they came down our street and our drain is fine.
Okay.
The one down on the corner, which is off our property, they put a flag and they, I don't know if they run something through it. I mean,
Must
we're
be-
just
maybe it's-
talking from one side of the road to the next, but they did something to it.
Maybe the
To
camera or
clear
something
it
like that.
out.
Oh, to clear it out, okay. So
And
yeah, I
then
thought he
sign.
said the east side was done, now he's working on the west side and the north side. I don't know when the south side gets done or if that's not a concern, so.
I'm glad it's not about a drain in the park,
No,
because there will be problems. I'm telling you right now.
oh, for the Leonard Park,
Yep.
we're just gonna drain right to the back of it.
You can try.
I have to fill in for Mike, right?
You can try.
It's a little bit of transition, so.
No, I wasn't
No.
expecting you to fill in for Mike.
I'm just messing with you.
I know.
All right, no other DPW updates for that. For the president's report, there have been 0 FOIA requests. And CBDG, he gave 2, he said,
There's nothing. There's
Nothing.
no reports, nothing, no
Still.
requests.
all right, so no, okay, I was gonna say no request for CBD.
No request for funds.
Yep, no
Yep.
request for funds. Should be, I don't know if, it's like I hate to throw it out there, but I want people to know that this is available, that it is private, that it is, something that you please don't sit in cold when
Right.
the funds are here to help you.
Right.
Don't let pride get in the way kind of thing.
Somebody had issues, and I cannot for the life of me remember who, because I immediately thought about that.
Yeah, and then tell them, just,
I'll have to,
it is private.
Have
We-
them come up and get a packet from me, if nothing else, because they could see if they financially qualify just to
Yeah.
start. I have packets set up,
roof or,
Mhm.
it could just be
Yeah.
there, just kind of
Just
as a thing,
Please,
you know?
use it, because we end up
For
giving
sure.
it away,
Yes.
or, yeah,
Well,
we
it-
use it or lose it kind of thing.
It's
and
a
then-
definitely,
I thought
a-
if we could get
it's-
away with it, we'd use it.
Well,
right.
yeah, but like you said, if you know somebody that does, and like I said,
Somebody had an issue, and I didn't know the person that
Okay.
they were talking about in the
Oh,
village though,
yeah.
so.
and I think that's some of the problem is, like, pride gets in the way. I don't want people
Sure.
to know that it's me. It's private. I've never seen a name. I've
Well,
been on
it's not
council all
that-
this time.
Nobody comes, how did they even know?
Well, we got cameras there.
They, I mean, I do watch
Yeah.
OCTV,
Yeah.
but do a lot of people?
Not,
Probably not.
that's just it. But like I said, it's still private. Your name's not out there. Please
I'll
request,
try and find out who
get
that
the,
was and pass
and
it
like I
on.
said, we can get the packets out to somebody. That's fine.
Yep.
I don't believe there's anything for code enforcement besides 4285.
Nope.
So that would be just a none because 4285 is already on the list. Trustee and committee reports. I think the summer committee is meeting now, possibly for the next one.
I think they take January off, but I
Oh, that's right.
You know,
We're still early.
actually, Kay Battelle, myself, and the guy who does the emceeing, Wayne Southerby, we all decided to step down. We've been on I've been on that committee for a decade. Wayne longer, Kay probably 20 years. So kind of letting a younger guard take over.
Yeah.
So, and they're doing such a great job, honestly. Usually, we don't have to start anything, so there's been all
Okay.
new people been brought in as board members. So, usually the first thing we do is I would always apply for a grant in February, and I might still do their grant for them, just
Yeah.
because I've been writing it for so long, I could write it in my sleep.
Yeah.
But usually they don't have their first meeting until like April.
Oh, okay.
Have you talked to her recently?
Brandy? Not since the
No,
election.
Hey,
No, I have not talked to Kay.
she lived across the street from the house that blew up. She's out of her place, she can't go back.
Get out of here.
Because it's off the foundation.
Yeah,
I need to call
4
her.
feet
I
off,
could not
right?
believe it.
4 feet off.
Dang.
The whole building across the street moved 4 feet.
When did this happen?
When that exploded?
That explosion of the.
Not long ago?
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody in the
I was
vicinity
shocked
got,
when I heard that.
right in Lake Orion.
Lake
There's a
Orion.
huge, yeah, just look up at Lake Orion explosion.
Seriously,
You'll
you
see it.
didn't hear about it? You don't watch
When
TV
was
at
it?
all.
I don't.
Probably, yeah, maybe not, but it
I
was.
watch kids.
It was within, yeah, it was within a month, and just Google search Lake Orion explosion.
Gas leak,
Huge.
yeah.
Yes, huge.
Major.
Like I said,
Oh my
enough to
gosh.
knock the next building off by 4 feet
Yeah.
and
she
shift
was
it.
home on it.
Holy smokes!
I have not talked to her, I heard from the township.
It might be a good idea to call her.
Yeah, no, I will.
To see
That's a
how
good
she's
idea.
doing, what she's doing. They gave her money to live on, which is, and a lot, and I'm thinking, man, they got, all them people got that amount.
They probably had like a FEMA or something like that that
Yeah, I
probably
don't
helped them
know.
out
Yeah.
for that, because that's.
She needs it, she doesn't know when she's going back.
Oh, absolutely. She's not going back anytime soon.
No.
They'd have to secure the building, re-secure the building and stuff.
Oh, amazing.
Do they need any people for the summer festival committee? Do you know?
Volunteers.
Volunteers.
They will be
always.
looking for volunteers as always.
Okay. I just want to make
Yes.
sure that got on camera. Volunteers. Summer festival needs you. Cable commission.
No updates really, just pay bills. Everybody got a 3% raise, like, or not the manager, but like all the people
Oh.
on the team, and that was the majority
Who's
of it
the
in paying
cable?
bills.
Is that Spectrum?
Was it?
The cable commission. The
That's
cable
OCT.
here?
OCT,
Well,
yeah,
that I don't mind.
yeah.
Right.
I hate Spectrum.
It's not Spectrum.
Okay.
Local, we're good. All right. Decorating committee. Wonderful festival still.
It was nice.
Um,
It was fun.
It still came through despite having fewer than we needed people.
Not knowing what the heck's going on.
Not knowing what's going on.
Fake it till you make it.
Jennifer Arundel was sick. She usually kind of handles the whole thing. So she was sick and not able to come out at all. Bill was out of the picture. We don't have Mike to kind of fill in for things. So you did your best to stand there as long as you could.
As long as I could.
And I just did I did whatever I needed to do to just make things function. So everybody kind of did it.
I don't know, are you talking the tree lighting?
Yeah, the tree lighting, yes.
The pictures I saw looked like they had a lot going on and.
Which is good, yes.
Yeah.
We had a couple people that were kind of bummed there was no parade, and I'm like, well, there's kind of never been one, so.
Has there ever been a lighting?
No, there's never been a parade. We just pretty much turned that tree on, and they were a little bit disappointed by the size of the tree. I'm like, yeah, but you know what? We're brighter than holly,
It's the biggest one we had.
and this is the biggest one we've had. I couldn't even reach the top to put the star on, so I have to thank Mike for the use of his ladder still. Thank JD and B Band for being outside and doing all the music. The orchestra was inside. They did their hour of music. Thank you to the decorating committee for making all that happen. Thank you to vendors for being there. I hope they made enough money that day. The food truck did not make it because she had a family illness. She ended up in the ER herself.
Oh my
And
word.
we don't have a big enough festival to have multiple food trucks, but we might try. I'm going to suggest we try to get like a backup on hot chocolate.
We should have a hot chocolate, hot drinks.
We used to have hot
Yeah.
chocolate inside here, and it required somebody to work it, and we're trying to get out of working too many things and having them. But it would be nice to at least have a backup. Maybe the truck can do it. That's fine, but
You know what would be nice is if like Leonard Elementary PTO would do hot chocolate. It'd be a great fundraiser
actually, it
for
would be a
them.
great fundraiser. I'd have to.
And
you know
they
what?
have such a good PTO there.
I will ask them.
A lot of people were asking.
Yeah, I mean, because
I will
we
give that
used
to
to
them,
do
though,
the
yeah.
pizza sale, and we used to do a bunch of stuff when I was on PTO,
Yeah.
when my kids were little. And, that's the great fundraisers are what make all those great little activities for the kids at
Yeah.
the school.
And I think I just took myself off of the PTO because I didn't want all the updates anymore. I don't have anybody there, but I will still
Yep.
ask them if they'd like to do that because that would be good.
Let them handle it. 'cause
Yeah,
there's just
they could
so
do the
much-
whole thing,
Yeah,
set
and
up
like I
every
said,
bit of it, just,
yep.
so,
They can be inside,
Done.
that's fine.
be a great moneymaker for them.
North Oakland Transportation Authority, it was my first meeting at that authority. It's a very big packet. For the most part, they were going through, they partially elected officers. I was a little confused at first, not realizing that although Mike McDonald is the president at NODA, he's the president of their officers there, in thinking that he was leaving this spot, I'm like, wait a second, you're not putting me in that position, are you? I'm just going for one day. He's still the president because he's in Addison now. So he stays there, which was good. So the vice chair stayed as the same person. The treasurer, the secretary did not get reelected or did not run. So those are two positions that are open. I've talked with Bill. because those were mics that he had gone to both Pollyant Trail and NODA, I didn't assume that I would do them every time, but told him while he's still kind of new at this that I didn't have a problem going. That's fine. They basically, they did their,
Suffered into it.
they did, right, they did their it's whether or not I get suckered into a position on there too. But they did their budget got adjusted, and that was pretty much it. They had a little bit of a closed session for something else, but that would be off record. It's just a lot of money that goes through the NODA system. They're darn proud of what they do. They do a great job. They're working things out, trucks, garages, and they're handling it. I wouldn't be surprised if they got tapped on the shoulder to help out Smart Bus system, because I think they're out, like, it sounds like they're almost outperforming Smart Bus, which I don't, nothing against Smart Bus, but they're doing very well. I think they're doing, you know, and a lot of people use the services. One of the things that did come up in that with NODA was during that explosion, the village president, the Lake Orion president had called the NODA lady, I can't remember her name now, and he said, "Do you have anything?" She worked her butt off to get 2 trucks over there to make sure those people had a way to get from their exploded condo to a safe center. And then the joke became that everybody who was taking the bus knew that they could get the bus to take them everywhere else. So very few people ended up at the safety center. They all ended up with family and friends. They were all safe.
Good.
But the 2 or 3 drivers that responded that day were on it, they were pleasant, and they did the job until the job was done. So NODA really, really came through for that one, which was really awesome. The next one would be the Planning Commission. We have not met. Do we want to meet?
We have one more chance before February when our fiscal ends to get that 4th meeting in. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
And when this meeting is over, if you and I can take a moment and
Review stuff.
try to make a plan, because we need to get that PowerPoint done.
Yes.
Because we have that overlay that has to be done, that
Yes.
has to be worked on.
And then we probably need.
And then we also gotta be sure we're gonna have a quorum for January. We can push to February if we have to, but I know that I'm not gonna be ready.
Right,
For that meeting to get it done, because you and I need to sit down with Leslie and have access to her computer.
gotcha. I will make a motion to cancel the December 19th meeting. There are no other issues that have come up the Planning Commission would have to address. What we're talking about is updating the master plan. This is just something that happens every, 7 years? You're supposed to update it. So they're minor changes that would be just updating photos of buildings that have now changed the look or something like to that nature. But we don't have the equipment. We're missing the files.
Leslie was
So we
so
need a little bit of
generous
help with
that having been a graphic designer and a person who did all that kind of work, she has the Adobe program, and she generously did all of the work on our master plan gratis for us, and
Yeah.
she saved the village probably, like
Thousands.
$8,000 probably doing it herself. Well, she
Yeah.
has the program. We just want to make a couple updates, but we need her help.
Yep.
And we just haven't been able to get the 3 of
And we
us together to do
Just,
it.
yeah, we just need to, we need her in town, and we just need to bring a pizza over and
We do.
make sure she's good. So
Okay.
I will make a motion to cancel the December meeting, the December Planning Commission meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Pollyant Trail Management Council, same thing. I had also gone to that because that was part of what Mike McDonald had done, talked to Bill. It's still new. I'm gonna let him work it out. I plan on going to both of these meetings for the December meetings. If he follows me there, great. If he doesn't make it there, it's fine. We'll be fine. Let's see. They also had a closed
Let them off
session.
the hook every time either. I know it's new, but
It might not be so bad. It's all good. They also had a closed session for some of their own issues. Public comment. There were 2 ladies in the office or in the public there who came in. They were part of the Daughters of the American Republic.
Revolution?
Yes, the American Revolution. Yes, it's all like I should have wrote it down. Daughters of the American Revolution, because this is a milestone year, they wanted to put up flags and put up information along the trail, and have some more activity around this specific year, 2025. And obviously, Pollyant Trail is more than willing to do that, so they were very thankful, and I'm sure you'll see weird things of flags and information going up in areas that weren't there. They're probably more Oxford way, so we won't see it necessarily here, but in Oxford it would be there. So they had some tree cutting that they approved. Yeah, it's the 250 years in. Actually, I take that back. 250 years in July of 2026 is my note here. And that was basically it. Again, this was another meeting where I thought, uh-oh, what does Mike do here? He's still doing it, it's fine.
Okay.
He'll still be there. He just represents Addison Township instead of the village, so. Next up would be Village Park. I think Mike always updated on that one too. I'm not quite sure what the Village Park is doing right now. And I'm not quite sure who to ask to get information. Is it Mike or-
I
Mike
don't
Moran?
believe they had a meeting last month because Doug and Linda are in that committee.
Oh, Doug and Linda, all right.
Yeah, I don't think that anything has happened. There is nothing to report.
Okay. I'm gonna mark that down as
Yeah, no report.
So nothing about a drain being put in there.
no, because I think we would have to look at,
You can't. I'm telling you right now, you can't do it.
no, I was gonna say their surveys and stuff to see what they were doing with, what would they have been doing a drain for?
To drain the water.
I don't know that they can drain the water though, because
They
it's,
can't.
yeah, it's a swamp though, they're supposed to leave it, right?
Yes,
Okay. What makes you think they were gonna do a drain?
that's what Bill told me. He wants to put a drain closer to the road, but still in the park to
Okay.
help drain the water. And I said, you can't do it.
DNR won't allow it.
Well,
No, they won't.
Yeah.
He may be talking about front water that's up against the road, not back water that's against your property, like against
He
your
knows
side.
what I'm talking about, and
He
he still
does.
insisted the drain. I says,
Okay.
well,
Well-
you're looking at a lawsuit then.
Yeah, you know what, I
And-
guess we'll have
And
to-
I would agree, I think it's wetlands and
It is
you
wetlands.
can't drain it, so.
Guaranteed, I found my letter.
Okay.
Exactly.
We put it on the bill here.
Right.
Okay, which
Yep.
is true, yeah. And he didn't update me on anything that was Village Park related or anything like that, so he didn't even mention it. So I would probably, for next meeting, I'll have him contact Bill and Doug and Linda for updates on that, because I don't know if he's,
You can
if
try all you want.
he can
I
go
told
to
him
the,
that.
but I think it's probably not on the plans. I don't remember there being anything of the sort, so. That's one of those knowledge-based, you'd have to be here the whole time to know that's not gonna happen, so. We'll be the bearers of bad news on that, I'm sure.
I would like it to end. Since we've lived here, we've had nothing but issues with them trying to do something on our property.
Oh,
Leave us alone. You can't drain it. It's a wetlands.
yeah,
No
and
one's
that's
gonna
it.
DNR's
No,
not gonna,
yeah,
no.
Nope, we'd, like you said, we'd get fined, so there's no
Oh,
way.
Yeah.
Next one up is Community Development Block Grant.
Once again, nothing there. No
Why do we have
report.
that on here twice?
I guess because for the president's report, if somebody made a request
Okay,
and then, I don't know why it's on there twice, to be honest with you.
I think we
You're
probably,
right. So Mike, if you let us know if there is a new request or anything like that, but then typically you give us the committee report.
Right.
Down here where they still haven't gotten us a report.
There you go. There, see, asked and answered.
there a
So, no, sometimes what happens is I'll get like a financial where if something has changed, and because there's been no submissions and no new monies coming in or out, it's just status quo. There's nothing
Okay.
to report.
okay,
So,
all right. Any correspondence, anything that you've had at the, have you had any call, you haven't had any calls, I'm assuming, on 48 or 4285? Okay.
nothing
It's
that I've
only
heard
Monday.
about.
Nope, it's
Yeah.
only Monday, and they looked at it Saturday and Sunday.
There
so
you go.
Done. If we would like to, and I don't have a problem making a motion to adjourn at 8:08.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we are set.